Good morning. I've not yet done a walk and talk for today, but I wanted to just share my thoughts because I do this really for me, so that I am getting a better processing of the information I'm reading. It's just easier to kind of resonate with me when I speak about it and talk about it. Um, I'm going to add these as I get epiphanies and as I get an understanding or something. I'm just going to add this in. So, last night I was just thinking a lot about our purpose. As I've said before, I am currently reading the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible, and it is really, really getting me thinking. So, I just got to thinking, like, what is our purpose? So, my understanding, and this again is my understanding, I'm trying to understand this, so I'm just kind of talking to think. This is not to say that this is how it is, but from what I understand, God is infinite. He is everywhere. It is everywhere. I don't even like to say he because I don't want to assign a pronoun because that's saying that God is male, and it's just way more complex than that. So it is everywhere. It is in everything. But the one thing that God was not able to do, if you will, was experience his creation, the earth, as an individual. God is everywhere at all times and was just not able to do that in that form. So what God did is he created us. He created people, humans, and I believe our purpose is to experience earth, to experience what it is as an individual, to have complete control over a world, on an individual term. So feel things as an individual, just be an individual. Honestly, the opposite of what God is. God is not an individual. God is all encompassing everything. So we are kind of like individual gods. God took some of himself, poured it in us, and made us kind of individual gods. So our task here on earth, I believe, was to come down here and experience every experience possible as an individual. There are 8 billion of us. Between all of us, we could cover it all, report back up to God, and kind of let him know what this is as a individual. What it's like as an individual to feel heartbreak, what it's like as an individual to feel pain, to feel love, to feel gratitude, to feel appreciation, just all those individual feelings that we have. So we were given feelings so that we could experience life and report back to God, so that God could have kind of like a accumulation of individual experiences to get an idea of what it's like to be an individual. In order to do that, though, since the earth is a physical realm, we had to have physical senses. We were given our 5 senses: smelling, hearing, touching, seeing, tasting. But those are very limited senses. We only see like 3 colors. I mean, a combination of the 3 basic colors. We only hear like 8 octaves. We only can feel, what is solid or liquid. We have very serious limitations to our physical sensibilities that were provided to us so that we could experience earth. The problem is, and I believe this goes back to the Garden of Eden and Genesis, and I'll get into that in a bit, but the problem lies in how we interpreted those experiences. They were meant just as a backdrop to provide us with the means to experience the feelings, to then report back to God. But the focus was always meant to stay on our spiritual selves, and not on the physical self. The problem is once we became aware of the physical self, we stopped reporting back, and we started to put all of our stock, if you will, into the physical. We started to depend on the physical. And at this point, we see the physical as reality. We don't even recognize all the unlimitedness around us as our real reality. And the least realistic thing of everything is our physical world. It is literally a manifested world. It is made up of what our individual minds see and interpret and perceive. And so we're caught up in this matrix because we are thinking that the fake is the real and the real is the fake. And so what I kind of gathered from that is it's kind of like when you are in a city and it's all kinds of stuff going on down in the streets, and then at night when you look up at the sky, you can't even see the stars. It's just like completely darkness. And it's like, what is that about? We know that the same stars have always been there or out there. Well, it's called ambient light. We are unable to see the real light because we are distracted by the false light. We are so focused on what's going on down here at earth level to where when we look up, our eyes can't even adjust to see the stars. And that's a problem. That's a problem because there's a whole world out there, and that's really the real world. So I feel like what we need to do to kind of get back and get away from that ambient light is to recognize the distractions and to keep them where they belong and to not give them more power than what they should have. Limit the distractions. Make sure that the lights that we are seeing around us, the false lights, are to a minimum and not distracting us and keeping us from seeing the real light, which is the starlight, the infinite light. So I just wanted to share this. It was kind of an epiphany for me because we often get lost in the minutia of day-to-day living without realizing that was not what it was meant to be. We were meant to just come here and report back. We weren't meant to stay here. We weren't meant to make this our reality. And once we get away from our ambient light and are able to see the real light and look up and actually see the light that is meant to lead us, then we will have a completely different experience. So I'll be back. I'm going to do my walk and talk later, but definitely just wanted to share this insight. All right.